A very warm good morning, Class 8, once again, and welcome to your social science class. So, students, in the second period today, we had a live class where we began with a new chapter from your social and political life textbook. And the name of the chapter is Judiciary. So, we tried to discuss a lot on the first three topics of judiciary. So, first of all, we tried to understand the meaning of judiciary. Then we discussed about the role of judiciary, and finally about the independence of judiciary. So, students, although we have discussed all these in details today, but still, for your recorded class, I would like to repeat the same things so that you remember them, and also so that it is easy for you to revise all these topics once again. And also, you are having your unit test, so I don't want to put much pressure on you, and that is why after the live class I'm sharing the same PPT with you for your recorded class as well. So students, without much ado, let us begin. So, first of all, I already shared the learning outcome with you. So, after completing today's discussion, you all will be able to, first of all, explain the meaning of judiciary, then bring out an outline regarding the role of judiciary, and describe about the independence of judiciary in a democratic country like India. So, let me give you a very brief introduction first. So, students, remember that the judiciary is an organ of the government that plays a very crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy. So, the main work of the judiciary is to give justice, is to ensure that whatever law is being made in the country, it applies equally to all people. So, a certain set of fixed procedures needs to be followed when a law is violated, and to enforce this law we have a system of judiciary, and the judiciary consists of the courts. Okay, the Supreme Court, the High Court, and by any chance, if any citizen feels that their fundamental rights are being violated and the laws which are made for the citizens of India are being violated, then the people can move to the court and fight for their rights. So, this is a brief introduction about judiciary. Next, let us try to understand the role of judiciary. So, basically, there are three rules. First of all, dispute resolution, secondly, judicial review, and thirdly, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. So, let us know what is dispute resolution first. So, our Indian judiciary, it provides a process through which disputes or conflict between citizens and the government, between two different states, and also between the center and state governments can be resolved. So, in any country where there are variety of states, where there are variety governments, their dispute is definite to occur. That is why to find out solutions to these disputes, judiciary is there, and that is why the first role played by judiciary is that of a dispute resolver. Next is judicial review. So, the judiciary, as an organ of the government, is so powerful that if necessary, or if they feel that any law which is passed by the parliament is not being made according to the constitution, then they can strike it down or they can cancel it. So, this is called as judicial review. Review means to revise all the laws that are being passed. And lastly, every citizen of India can approach the Supreme Court or the High Court if they feel that their fundamental rights are being violated. This is what is meant by upholding law and enforcing fundamental rights. So, to explain you or to make the third point more clear, we have an example here. This example is about a person, an agricultural laborer, whose name was Hakim Sheikh. So, Hakim Sheikh, who was an agricultural laborer, he fell from a train. And after falling down from the train, he injured himself and his condition got very serious. But of course, even with his serious injuries, the hospitals in his city refused to admit him. And that was so because he was just a laborer who did not have enough money to bear the fees of these hospitals. So Hakim Sheikh and some of his relatives, they appealed to the Supreme Court for justice. And on hearing this case, the Supreme Court ordered that according to Article 21, every citizen has the fundamental right to live. And within this fundamental right to life, there is also included the right to health. And that is why the Supreme Court directed the West Bengal government. West Bengal is the state where Hakim Sheikh belonged from. So the Supreme Court ordered the West Bengal government to not only pay compensation for the loss suffered by Hakim and his family, but also to review and revise the primary health care centers, and also particularly in reference to treatment of patients during an emergency, so that no other person suffers like Hakim Sheikh did. So just because he was a laborer, no hospital was willing to take him for uh, you know for curing him. But of course, Article 21, right to life, this has been shown by the Supreme Court, and ultimately the West Bengal government had to take necessary actions. So this is all about the role of judiciary. Next, a very important point from this chapter on judiciary, which is the independence of judiciary. So when we say independence of judiciary, it means three things. First of all, separation of power. It means that the judiciary is supposed to be free from any interference in its work by the other branches of the government. That means by the legislature and the executive. The courts are never under pressure to take their judgments. So that is why it is ensured by the Indian Constitution that our judiciary, our system of judiciary, our courts are free from any external or internal interference. No members of the legislature or no executive member can ever interfere in the working of the judiciary. Number two, independence of judiciary allows the court to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and executive. So, in order to keep an eye on the power of the legislature and executive, the judiciary is allowed to work independently. So, whenever necessary, the courts can keep a check on the activities of the legislature and executive so that there is no misuse of power by these organs. And lastly, independence of judiciary also means that judiciary plays a crucial role, a very important role, while protecting the fundamental rights of citizens. So, students, these are the 3 points that ensures that judiciary in India is independent. First of all, by following separation of power strictly. Number two, by ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and executive, and this is done by keeping an eye on them. And lastly, protecting the fundamental rights of citizens. So, students, that's all for today. I know this PPT is a short one, but I have prepared this short PPT for you so that you can understand all the points well. And also, you don't need to go through in details much because your unit tests have already begun. So students, thank you so much. Once your test is over, we will try to solve many question answers relating to these parts, and also wish you all the best for your upcoming papers in your unit test. Thank you and have a very good day.